All right, Jesse on Fire. Welcome back, you guys. So, in a continuation of the uplifting content that I've been doing lately, I am going to do this video where we're going to be going through some pretty shocking clips that I have compiled here of the Hollywood people telling you exactly why they are famous and rich, you know? And believe it or not, it's not just that they're talented, you know? Like they may or may not have made some deals that you'll be interested to hear turn out that apparently they're real, you know? Like if someone came to me and they were like, Jesse on Fire, would you like to have the biggest show in the world? I'd be like, that's my intention. Yes. I have the talent to do that. And they're like, well, you do. All you have to do is commit your soul to Lucifer. I'd be like, yeah, I don't want it that bad. I don't want it that bad, dude, you know? But some other people, they do want it that bad. And so we're going to look at some of them today. But we're not just going to be hypothesizing here. We're actually going to be looking at a lot of videos like this where Angelina Jolie admits that she filmed the initiation ritual. And you guys can see that word right there, right? You know, it doesn't say Catholic Mass. That is not what it says. We're going to probably have to do a lot of that tonight with a lot of like, well, it doesn't say this because, oh my God, look at my hair. I just realized I took a shower after jiu-jitsu. I have no product in my hair. I look ridiculous. How is anyone going to be able to take me seriously while I'm wearing a Hub jiu-jitsu shirt and with no product in my hair? Now, product in my hair or not, I promise I'm cooler than these girls. Okay. Absolutely guarantee I'm cooler than them. Okay. Well, how can you say that? They just won a gold medal and then ruined it right afterwards. Ruined it right afterwards. You know, you guys already know what that's going to say. They do this all the time. They love doing this. We want to have you to the city, town, whatever, where everything, you know, the whole country, this is the thing. No, we're not going there. We will not go. We won't go. You're all, oh my God. Just let me know who you guys like so that I can vote against them all the time because I never want to be on a team with a bunch of nerds like you, okay? Now, speaking of people whose team I don't want to be on, let's take a look over here, and now let's get into some of these people who are worshiping, okay? Because I promise there are some accusations that we're going to look at that are pretty shocking. And, you know, the guy who just got fired for putting together the Super Bowl halftime show, you guys might not know about this, actually. It's Jay-Z. So that guy and his wife, you may have heard of her. She had a great Super Bowl halftime show herself at one point. The accusation that has been posed against the two of them is about as insane as I was going to make a joke about her, but I'm way too scared of her. Hunting people. Hunting people is what the accusation is, okay? But we're going to get to that after we look at some of the this is the world we live in, guys, okay? Luciferians. So here is a video that I found of Bob Dylan explaining where he got his success from. But listen, guys, there's no reason to pay attention to all this stuff, okay? Like, it's all made up. It's all made up. No one is actually worshiping. Just ask everybody up until 2 minutes ago when they thought that releasing this information was going to hurt that, you know, the one that the hockey team doesn't want to say hi to after they won the gold medal.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with you know, with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And this earth, and then in the world we can't see.
You ever look at music that you've written and look back at it and say, whoa, that surprised me?
I used to. I don't do that anymore. I don't know how I got to write those songs.
What do you mean you don't know how?
Well, those early songs were like almost magically written. Darkness at the break of noon, shadows even the silver spoon, a handmade blade, a child's balloon.
Eclipses both the sun and moon to understand your new teeth.
When I was growing up, Bob Dylan was my dad's guy. I went to two Bob Dylan concerts, I think, before I was like 10. That's my dad's guy. And man, that song is so fire. It's interesting to know that the devil wrote it and not Bob Dylan, but listen, pay no attention.
There's a magic to that, and it's not Siegfried and Roy kind of magic. It's a different kind of a penetrating magic. And I did it. I did it at one time.
You don't think you can do it today?
Mm-mm.
Does that disappoint you?
Well, you can't do something forever, and I did it once, and I can do other things now, but I can't do that.
So yeah, I think he's pretty clear on how this all works, right? He made a deal. He wanted to be the biggest rock star, one of the biggest rock stars in the world, and all he had to do was make a bargain. I actually, I can't even imagine what that would feel like if you made a bargain like that, and then all of a sudden you're 70, and you're like, So this was fun. Man, really feel like I could have just lived a normal life because I don't really know what comes next. It's like, yeah, you do. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Probably why you guys are all scrambling around trying to extend life forever. All of this biohacking forever. I wonder why it's so pressing for them. Should we look at this? Should we look at the Jay-Z and Beyonce? Not yet. Not yet. We've got a lot of other things to look at first. Oops, we've already done that and that. This one is probably going to be pretty dark. I just wanted to remind everyone that Nicki Minaj said this, okay? Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take meanings, right? You guys read that? From other countries and, do that to them as a form of that. I can't even say the things out loud. I can't even say them. Now, would Nicki Minaj know about this? I can't remember. Does she have any kind of relationship? Oh, right. Yes, 100% she would know. These are the circles that she ran in, right? She said, you see, when your master is Lucifer, you must constantly shed that, whatever. However, the jig is up. So out of a 1, 2, 3 sentence post, there were like 5 things I can't even say out loud because they're so gnarly. But, listen, don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Let's see Angelina Jolie talk about hers, though, and then we'll get to the Jay-Z one. Oh, my God, this one is nightmare fuel. Oh, my God, that one is nightmare fuel. You know what? Actually? Let's take a quick detour. So you see this right there? See that article that was in the New York Times? So I looked up this woman, Margot Kaplan, who wrote that. And when I tell you she had some very interesting opinions about that type of thing, as well as grape, I couldn't possibly exaggerate. I was reading these. I actually read her articles. One of them was about restorative justice on campuses when someone gets, I think that you should figure that one out too. When they get forced into eating things they don't want to. And restorative justice, for those of you who don't know, I had to ask ChatGPT, is where instead of punishment being the focus, it's more about making the victim feel better, sometimes bringing in the perpetrator and they can talk, they can, kind of sort things out together. And I posed a question to chat just because I remembered this story from Stanford where there was a superstar swimmer. You guys may recall this if you're from California. He was like a really big deal out there. And he ended up getting, I believe, 3 months or 3 months, might have even been 3 months probation after a bunch of kids found him behind a dumpster, with a girl who was and it turned out she wasn't even a student. She wasn't even a student. She was some girl's older sister who had a job and everything, and she had she had agreed to go to this party, and someone had slipped it to her, right? And so she just felt like she needed to take a nap. And the star swimmer, was such a gentleman. He showed her what the back of a dumpster looks like so she could take a nice little nap and wear him as a blanket while she was asleep. And again, if I remember correctly, 3 months. So restorative justice, guys. I'm sure she felt great about that. Now, you know what I would feel great about is if you subscribed to the channel, liked the video, and then told me in the comments a timestamp of what was the funniest part of this video. Because honestly, a person who can make you laugh while talking about these topics is pretty talented. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, maybe you don't laugh at any of it, which would mean I'm not talented. But if you did, timestamp, and I will bask in the glory of knowing that I made you guys laugh, because it makes me feel really good to know that I'm making people laugh. So, and don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. As a matter of fact, I know exactly how she felt about it because she wrote one of the most unbelievably impactful op-eds I've ever read in my life. That's why I remember it. She described the night as she experienced it. It is horrific. Like, it's so well done the way she wrote that I mean, there's parts of it that I still remember. She like comes to, because she didn't do this to herself. She had like one drink, and then she woke up in the hospital, and she didn't remember anything. And she had leaves in her hair. She had no idea what was going on. Anyway, but that's the kind of thing that Margot Kaplan thinks is a good idea. And also, it's really important that you guys understand that she also, in that particular article, she argues that the criminalization of that particular problem is the problem. That's the problem. Making it criminal to do that. I would encourage you guys to go read some of her stuff. It's really fascinating. You kind of read it and go, huh. Well, that's, those are ideas. I don't know if I would, attach my jacket to those, but they are ideas, right? We got apparently this guy was, the target of a DEA investigation. I mean, why not? Like, I guess when you are the incarnation of Lucifer, you get away with whatever you want. You know what I mean? But let's get over it. Man, it's so funny. Like, I literally feel myself stalling all the time when I do these videos because I'm so uncomfortable with what I'm saying that I can't, you know what I mean? I'm like, yikes. All right, let's do this. Let's find out from Angelina in 1999 what the initiation ritual was. This kind of initiation. They're so upfront and honest. It's really refreshing.
It's like I would film things like that. I would encourage everybody, all different types of sexual. But there is that thing where it's like a lot of people misunderstand me with S&M and they think it's super. And I have to explain to people how where it's more like you're tied down because you need to be able to have somebody hold you down and keep you still, or fight S&M and be able to heal once you're beaten or something. It's it comes from that real place of as opposed to being accessories or something.
Yeah, so what she's talking about is in her initiation. Apparently, this is my understanding. They're tied down to a table, and I think S&M, something I actually say to Mass, something like that. And they take turns taking it and beating them, and they have no choice, right? I mean, that's the idea, but sounds like they're doing it voluntarily because they're selling their soul or whatever. And she said, it's like tattoos. After the ritual, there was that time where I was like, oh, I can't read that.
Good tattoos and things. There's that time where he's I have tattoos. And after a while, you can explain them and they can mean something. It's just comes from that real place.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think she might have been on a little bit of this that night, you know? Just a little bit. I also will go out on a limb and say that if this was the Billy Bob era, I bet she effed his brains out later that night. Do you guys ever see that clip of them when they got out of the limo and they're talking to the interviewer and she's like licking his face and he's like, "You want me to be honest with you?" He's like, we effed in the car on the way over here. I was like, whoa. Sex in a car, huh? Whoa. So like, what my point is like, that's not like that big of a deal, except when then you look at them and you're like, actually, I bet that was pretty serious. They wore vials of blood around their neck, just like Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. Almost like that would be some form of adherence to their religion. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I only saw that film she went over that night. There's certain people or like darker, like that kind of, you know, but it's a great thing to be able to like see everybody's sex, like just sexuality. But it's so weird when you just. I have like the most amazing compromising pictures of people.
I have the most amazing compromising pictures of people. Oh, I bet you do. Now, because of what's coming later in the video, I feel like I need to give people the opportunity to get a free $50. So I'm going to show you a real quick ad from Prize Picks so that you can get free money and you'll feel a little bit better about, you know, what you like when you're washing your eyeballs out with soap after you see some of the stuff that's coming. And I'm going to make you laugh, I promise. Even though, like the worst stuff ever, I promise you're going to laugh. I promise you. Actually, well, I don't know your sense of humor. If you have my sense of humor, you're going to laugh for sure. Now, if I told you that you could make $50 for free if you take 90 seconds of your time to do something, it's something that you would do, especially if the 90 seconds is going to be something fun. Because that's exactly what Prize Picks and I are offering you right now. I want to be very clear. There is no gimmick here. There's no chance where this does not lead to $50 free for you. There's nothing you have to pick right. There's no game you have to win. If you play a $5 roster on Prize Picks, you will get $50 into your account whether you win or lose the roster that you entered. How much you can win in addition to the automatic $50 depends on the size of the roster that you pick, but I'll let you play around with that a little bit. Now, you also could try to win real big and play more than $5, but you don't have to. Take a look over here. Look at what I stand to win if I hit this roster. Hold me accountable to this. I'm putting it on my channel. I'm putting my face on it. Hold me accountable and also hold me accountable to this. This game is super fun. You're going to want to play. As you can see on the left side of the screen, all you do is go through the athletes that you want to pick in a specific sport. In this case, we're doing UFC because my girl Rose Namajunas is fighting on Saturday. In addition to MMA, they have college basketball, college football, NBA, NFL, any sport you can think of, you can play on Prize Picks. Now, in the roster you see over here, this is obviously a UFC roster. I'm playing a $5 game, which means if this was my first game, I would see a free $50 put into my account the second that the game starts. So come join me for Prize Picks. It's an amazing game. You'll be supporting my channel and you'll be getting free money. Also, look at my roster, take a screenshot, and then you can see how I did. And also, I want to know who you guys are picking. Send me your rosters if you want. Link is in the description. Use promo code JesseOnFire for the $50 bonus, and that is what it is. I bet you do. Like, that is one person who I can say does appear to be like a completely different person now. But I also could say that I remember when they were doing Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you know, like that's the movie she did with Brad Pitt. And then she ended up stealing him from Jennifer Aniston. And I just remember thinking to myself, I read this article actually, and they talked about how Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie had actually been at this resort at the same time. Like they had like figured out a way to where they both came at the same time. People didn't know. And the staff had kind of narked them out. And they were like, they were scream banging like all night, and like she was like screaming, like they said that you could hear them for like 3 floors. And when they say them, what do you think they mean? You think Brad Pitt was all you know? It's Angelina screaming her lungs out. Man, she's like a dark witch. Jennifer Aniston didn't stand a chance in that situation right there. I felt bad for her, you know, but she does look like a little, I don't know, something about Jennifer Aniston that's always struck me as, I think she might be a little bit difficult. in general, like just general terms, just hanging out. I'm not talking about that stuff. I just mean, generally speaking, she looks like you would find yourself arguing with her a lot. And you're like, what are we arguing about? What is happening? Nothing. This is just what you always do. This is just what you always do. That is the feeling I get from Jennifer Aniston. So if a blood witch, jumps on your wiener, sometimes things happen, Now, let's go over here to the 1985-2020 story where ABC ran an extremely rare segment on Satanism, revealing that these little guys, can you read that? And they're used to, what'd you say? Oh, really? And then they're forced to, this escalated very, very quickly. You won't see that on the news anymore. And that's probably because they don't do it, most likely, as opposed to they have total control of the media now. Like complete and total control, and you never hear about the things that are true anymore if they don't want you to. So let's watch this together, and I expect I'll be doing a lot of editing to black things out and edit out sound, so on and so forth.
It's bizarre and hard to prove. Yet details that were told to us in interviews conducted across the country were later verified by authorities, who say there are consistent telltale clues. And they provide a checklist of 6 satanic practices to look for. For example, being placed inside a coffin. It's an experience that many children are describing.
Well, the adults would dig up the caskets from the graveyards, and all the members, including the children, were made to...
I'm sorry. Do you guys remember I told you guys that? Remember I said put them in the box with the spiders and the snakes? Remember that?
to lay in the remains of whatever was in the casket.
Get in a casket with a decomposed body.
Right, and then the casket was closed and they would be lowered into the ground while they were in the casket.
The author of a popular book on Satanism, Dr. Lawrence Pasder.
Children are involved in graveyards and crematoria, in funeral parlors, because one of the primary focuses of these people is death. Everything is attempted to be destroyed and killed in that child and in society, everything of goodness. And death is a major preoccupation.
Another indicator, satanic paraphernalia. In every case, the children talk about precisely the same setting.
They described a satanic goat's head being on the wall over the table.
Wait, a what? A what, dude? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can look up that woman who invited the Podestas over for dinner and just see if there's anything that connects here. So 100% absolutely for sure, the Podesta brothers were invited to dinner at Marina Abramovic's house, spirit cooking. This is you guys know, I always say allegedly. Nope. They were like, this is a thing. And the brother forwarded her email to John because he's like, hey, are you going to go or what? Because like Marina wants us to go. Something about, oh, right. What did they just say about goat's head over the table? Do you guys think this is relevant at all? Do you guys think that, Hillary Clinton's chief of staff, potentially being involved in the stuff that we are listening to? Maybe. Now, this is a maybe, but definitely, close with this person, and you guys are hearing, right? You guys are hearing what they're saying. Well, or I guess you're going to hear what they are doing. I guess we should listen.
They described a lot of candles. And they described people in black and white robes with hoods.
The hood, Mike, what's this for?
This is to create for whoever's practicing a magical atmosphere.
The colors mean anything?
Yeah, the red ones would be used for some types of sexual rituals. People who are doing sexual magic. This would be used for ordinary ceremonies and also for ceremonies where you'd be throwing a curse on somebody.
Another indicator, kidnapping. In almost every case, the children have talked about children who were snatched and later sacrificed.
They were taught to aid in the kidnapping of children. what they would do is the kids would go and play with the children and then tell them that they were either going to go to a party or that there was some toys or whatever, and get them so they weren't on the move, and then her father and other members would grab the kids.
Do you find missing children sometimes fall prey to these people?
I believe that they do. We can't prove that they do. But as a law enforcement officer, I question 2 million children missing in the United States, knowing that many, many of those are not runaways and are so young that they couldn't run away anyway.
Number 4.
Listen, there's no reason for any of this to be unsettling at all. I feel good. I'm not scared at all. Actually, I'm not scared, but that's only because I am so not important, you know. But knowing this stuff now is interesting because it is everyone. I mean, I just want everybody to just keep in mind the only reason that we found out about this stuff is because the left hates the big guy so much that they were like, wait a minute, there might be some stuff about him in this. Let's get this stuff out. You're like, wait, what? They're all, let's get this stuff out. We need the public to know what kind of person he is. You're all, are you saying the only reason you're doing this is to try to hurt him, the president? What? You understand who the victims of these crimes are, right? Did you say victims of something? What are we talking about? Why are you interested in this at all? Well, I mean, you already said it. He's exposed. Right. But the reason that there is exposure for people in these files is because they are taking innocent little babies or toddlers or, you know, kiddies. I mean, I honestly find the people who are now pretending that they care, like I said in my other video, almost as repulsive as the people who do this. I'm serious about that too. I'll stand on that. I will stand on that. They are almost as disgusting as them. Because today, like, they have reviewed, because now it's like, really? Now you'll do it? You know, it's like if you had some chore in your backyard and every day that you didn't do it, some kid would like try to run across the street and like, you know, or like 5 kids would have to run across the street to do it. One of them would get hit by a car, killed every single day. And they're like, you realize if you just did this yourself, like the kids would not have to run across the street. You're like, yeah, but I don't want to, dude. Okay. The kids take care of that. You're all, but one of them literally gets hit by a car and dies every day. I know. Okay. I'm watching television. And then one day it's like, hey, listen, dude, if you start doing that chore, you know, our next door neighbor you don't like. Yeah. We're going to release some pictures and show everyone that he has a miniature penis. You're like, count me in, dude. I'm in. I'm going to do that. You're all, so the dead kid wasn't enough. What? The dead kids every single day wasn't enough. Obviously not. I didn't do it. But to embarrass your next door neighbor who you don't like, now you're motivated enough. He's got a micro penis, dude. The world needs to know. So yeah, that is what I think of them. You know, we're standing on business. It's so important. It's so important that I make the world see what a scumbag these guys are. God, I wish I could do a video about Kyle Kulinski every day. You know, he makes me feel so good about myself. Listening to him talk, I'm like, man, I am a good person after all. If you guys didn't watch my video from yesterday, something about, I don't know, titled it about the inconsistency of the new breaking thing in the Charlie Kirk case. And then the last 40 minutes, I literally just annihilated Kyle Kulinski for 40 straight minutes. It was fun, dude. Oh, by the way, in case you guys missed that, this little number right here, this word, they're talking about the kids again, making them do it to each other. You know, whoever loses the game, and then dinner served. So I would imagine that people think that this is not real, and that certainly no one whose name you know would be involved in a thing like this. It's too evil. It's like, you wouldn't be involved in a thing like this. I wouldn't be involved in a thing like this. But you're making assumptions that they wouldn't. You don't know them. You know nothing about them. Actually, I take that back. You do know things about them. Example, you know what they told you about the goat heads, and you know Marina Abramovic likes to take pictures with a lot of goat heads, and you know that John Podesta's brother, he has an art collection that basically, if you just itemized all of these, oh wait, you already did. If you itemize these right here, and you went to like, you know, a bunch of painters and sculptors, and you're like, could you make me a piece of art that represents number 4 and number 5? Yeah, he's like, I'll take it. Actually, I'll take 3. They're like, all right, which one? He's like, the more you can work in, the better. And you forgot about adults, you know, gang great kids, you know? Like I need that on my walls. It's very important. And then I'm just going to show it to the world, and the whole world will look at it and go, that's normal because he's rich. It's like, do you think that if you won the lottery, if you had $400 million, that you would buy one of those, much less all 300 of those? I think you would not. And so I would say maybe not so normal, is something I would say. Now let's listen to this thing that is potentially true, not true. I don't know. This guy says that Jay-Z and Beyonce were hunting kids. So let's find out.
It's police command, 15 years on the force. I can't give you my name because I'm not authorized to speak with the press, but I'm speaking out because somebody asked to. I've seen corruption, I've seen crime, but nothing like this. When the survivors' statements came in last year, detailing Jeffrey Epstein's operations here in Nigeria, the human ants in the northern bush and southern forests, I was assigned to the initial inquiry team. We interviewed witnesses, collected evidence from remote villages, missing children reports dating back to 2002, strange aircraft sightings, locals paid off or threatened to stay quiet. The allegations are clear and horrifying. Epstein turned parts of our country into a playground for the super rich. Children, vulnerable kids from poor communities, were taken, stripped, released into isolated terrain, and hunted like animals. Guns, dogs, helicopters. For sport, survivors describe Jay's
hunted for sport with helicopters. That's pretty sporting of you, you know? Like, I know most seasoned hunters that I know, they now hunt deer with a bow because rifles are like not fair, you know? And deer, I saw a deer almost jump over a 20-foot fence. 20 foot? Yeah, 20 foot. A fence, unfathomable. Unfathomable, this leap. We were hunting and my buddy took a shot. We were dead ahead on this road on my buddy's ranch, and it was raining, and so the scope was wet, and this thing was probably, I don't know, maybe 250 yards. And he took a shot, and this is my buddy. He's an excellent shot, but it was, like I said, it was raining. Like, it was really challenging to hit. So he fired. It went right over the deer's head, and so this deer realized what was happening, and it literally was sprinting full speed directly at us. And I can't remember if we took another shot or not, but either way, when it realized what it was doing, it just turned to the side and it jumped 20 feet in the air. Like, it actually got a hoof on the top of this fence. It was insane. I was like, how? Like, like the fight or flight thing, animals get it too. The deer got away. So, PETA, don't worry about it. We were going to eat it. But nonetheless, think about a little kid. I think probably not a 20-foot fence. So a helicopter seems like that's not very sporting, Why not just put them into a box and then eat them? Oh, right. You guys do that too. Sporting, not necessarily your number one priority. So they say that this person and this person participated in that. If I'm being honest, do I think this is true? This seems a little far. Well, not far-fetched as much as This is just a person who has put on a hat and, uniform and is like, I'm telling the truth because I have a Nigerian accent, maybe. It's like, I want to believe, but not bulletproof credibility. Anyway, so hopefully I gave you guys a laugh about one of the most insane topics ever. Is there anything I forgot that was actually really important? This one is too fucked up. I don't think that one's too fucked up. I don't want to show you guys that because it will haunt your nightmares. We got that. Not going to do that. Got that. Oh my God, dude. Is it not the funniest thing of all time that they did Prince Andrew again? I know I talked about this in another video, but I'm sorry. Anyone, I can't, every time I think about that, I laugh. It's especially in the UK where they that's the place where it is absolutely 100% that the previous generation of royals and the top people were just outright, no question, twisting the thing. They exactly what for sure they were doing this stuff. Jimmy Savile and all them. And when it comes down to it, they're like, unbelievable. They're all, well, we're going to have to give him a scalp. They're all, who should we give him? They're like, Prince Andrew, the first time, right? And he gets just wrecked. He takes it for everybody. And, you would think that hey, listen, you take this like a man. We'll take care of you. Take it like a man, do the stupid interview. We'll give him your scalp and then we will take care of you. Then this happens and they're like, so I know that since you took it for the team last time, we said we'd take care of you, but we're not going to. We're Luciferians. We're Luciferians. So we're going to give him you again. You're going to be the guy. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what to say. You've already lost everything. So why should someone else have to lose everything? You don't have anything anymore except for your, you got some money. We're not going to let you starve, but everybody knows about you. So why expose anyone else? You see the logic there, right? And if you don't, it doesn't matter because we're going to throw you to the wolves again anyway. That's what I got. Love you guys.